So I just wanted to give another check-in to show some of what I've been working on in terms of the Pokemon training bot. And I wish that I had a really simple progress report of here's what I've worked on and here's how it improved. But the truth is that it's been a lot of ups and downs. And so these are the notes that I keep on runs, and you can see that I've clearly been doing a lot, but unfortunately it just really has not been a linear path forward in terms of progress. Like, there will be a lot of runs where I'm able to make some progress, and then I do something that I think will help and work, and then the benchmarks start to go down. The benchmarks have gotten really bad in some cases, like just things that I really thought would help, but just seeing them, really honestly hurt the performance has been really almost disheartening. There's just like so many things going on, that so many factors at play. It's hard to know what's helping it improve and what's hurting it. And so I can say that generally speaking, though, I've been working a lot to just improve the inputs to the network, and I've been starting to adjust the hyperparameter some. From what I've been seeing is that I think decreasing the learning rate has been helpful. I've increased the gamma value, so that way it's weighting future rewards a little bit more now, which I think should be good. I've updated the training logic. So before I wasn't really weighting the outcome of battles at all. I was just weighting turns and how much damage is dealt in a turn. And now I can say, though, that I am weighting victories. Currently I have it set to 10 points if you win and negative 10 points if you lose. The inputs to the network have changed a lot. Let me go and find that. What I'm passing in now is the expected damage of all the Pokemon's current moves, the accuracy of those moves, the amount that those moves heal. Little caveat here is that unfortunately this is a parameter I'm getting directly from the Pokemon environment, and it's not really suited for out of the box usage. Like a lot of moves that do heal, for example things like Wish, but it takes 2 turns, those are not captured in this, and there's a lot of other edge cases. So this really, I think unfortunately this is not as helpful as I was hoping it would be, but I still have kept it in there so far just because it seems like something that would directly affect the reward function. I've started splitting up the rating that I'm generating for evaluating a switch into a Pokemon in my party, so that there are both offensive and defensive estimates. And this is really what I'm trying to get working right now. The offensive estimate is based on the optimal move that Pokemon can make. So if we see down here, it's literally just looping through all the moves my Pokemon can do against theirs, and then returns the best one. The defensive estimate is based on typing, first and foremost. So based on the opponent's types, since I don't know all of their moves, I'm kind of using their type as an estimate of how effective they'll be against my current Pokemon. And then I'm also looking at whether they're going to attack me using attack or special attack, and then weighting a little bit based on whether my Pokemon has better defense or special defense. So that weighting is a little bit less. It's almost more of a tiebreaker. If maybe types being equal, then whether I have a good special defense stat versus their special attack stat would become, the tiebreaker. I'm passing in the healths of my entire party. I'm passing in the healths of my opponent's entire party. One more caveat here is that I don't actually know the healths of all my opponent's Pokemon. I just know the ones that I have seen. So in a lot of cases, this will be unknown values unless they switch out. And the final thing is I'm just passing in almost like a Boolean of whether my current Pokemon is faster than their current Pokemon. So I do have a little bit of a new workflow. What it's been normally, and unfortunately I don't have as much experience to these deep learning projects. I did a machine learning class in college, but it's been a little bit since then. And even then, a lot of it was, working in like very defined data sets and like not really doing deep reinforcement learning tasks. But what I've been doing is training the bot on 10,000 battles, saving that model, and then for performance testing, I will test it against 1,000 matches of the simple heuristics player and then the max damage player. And I have updated those so that that is also parameterized as a command line parameter. So you just pass in S for simple heuristic player, M for max damage player, anything else is a random player. And then the last thing I've been doing in order to sort a benchmark is I actually have been playing the Pokemon bot pretty consistently against real players. And so, again, nothing's really changed in this file, the RL bot. It basically just grabs my current reinforcement learning player, minimizes any sort of training values, loads the previous network, and then plays 10 games on the ladder. You can see that right now I have an ELO rating of 1,055. So this is good because 1,000 is, I think, the minimum. So it is at least learning somewhat. And you can see from like this rating that it's been better than this. I think the highest rating I've ever had was 1,100 so far. The issue though is that, this varies a lot. 10 battles is not really a good sample size to get a reliable estimation of my ELO, but at the same time, it's also very time consuming to do real battles with the bot. Also, I've noticed that a lot of the victories I get are because my opponent quits, and not really because I beat them. The bot is actually winning. Now, sometimes it is in an advantageous position, and so it's almost like they're rage quitting, and that's the reason that the bot is winning. But that's also not always the case. And so I honestly feel like the score is a little bit higher than it probably should be, because I think a lot of the cases, if it were to actually finish playing out that battle, it would probably make some mistake that a human could capitalize on and still win. So, yeah, I've been trying to really get this up. I really want to get the bot to be able to beat the simple heuristics player at least 50% of the time, and I really think then that this number could be comfortably around 1,100 to 1,200 in that range. I do kind of have this idea in the future where I think I want to start training the bot against itself and seeing, how does it learn against itself, because I think that would be a really interesting concept. I think potentially that would be really good because the simple heuristics player does have very defined logic. Actually, I can find it from here. So, there's a very defined set of considerations the simple heuristics player makes, and it's a much better estimation of how a human would play, but it's also still not a perfect estimation. So I think if I were to train the bot consistently against a live player or against itself, I think it would be a lot better trained at the general use case of playing Pokemon. But that's it for now, so I appreciate everyone listening. I tried out a different mic, so hopefully it sounds a little bit better. But that's it, so thanks. I will update you with more progress.